Hello and welcome back. It's LaShonda Henry here, aka Sister Sense. We are once again inside the Momentum Mastermind. Today, what I want to do is share with you the Profit and Progress 30-day action plan. So as always, hopefully you are in a quiet place so that you've got 30 minutes, an hour with me, so that we can strategically talk about where you are versus where you want to be, right? I always recommend opening up Docs, docs.google.com, creating a Google Doc so you can brain dump all the things that we talk about today, but a notebook is okay, either way. Now, first thing that I'm going to do, as always, is jump into our agenda for today's session. Well, right now, I am just all invested in ensuring you can work on maintaining your momentum. And so I've developed the Momentum 12-week plan. As part of that, I wanted to be able to check in with you every 30 days over a 12-week period, right? And this is also a part of the larger Citizen Circle, our monthly mastermind experience. So every month in the circle, we have our Firestarter Circle sessions, and I have taken these three in particular over this 3-month period as an opportunity for us to check in when it comes specifically to your momentum, okay? Now, with that being said, what I want to do today is a couple of things. Number one, I want to check in, right? Are you okay? We are in a new month. We just wrapped up the first month of our quarter, right? And, it's one of those things where it's like, did you jump into your resolutions? Did you do what you needed to do? Did you fall short? Did you fall off? Check in. Where are you right now? Internally, externally, mentally, physically, spiritually, just kind of having the opportunity to check in, right? And if you need to, reset, right? One of my favorite sayings when I launched the Fresh Start program last year is your fresh start starts now. So if you've been doing great. I want us to continue the momentum. But if you feel like you fell off on some way, on some capacity, things didn't quite work out the way you wanted them to be, it's okay. Maybe right now you need a reset, right? This isn't necessarily something that everybody needs to do, but if that statement resonates with you, okay, let's reset. This is an opportunity for you to also reconnect, right, to your vision. This is our second of 3 Momentum Mastermind sessions. So when you started 30 days ago, do you need to reconnect with the things that you wanted to do? Or do you need to remember to remind you of what those things are? That's important because life is always lifing, right? Distractions are everywhere. And whether it be life or unexpected things or new learned things, sometimes we learn something new and it completely takes us for a loop. We're like, oh, let me do this, that. You like drop everything and change your direction like completely 360 degrees because you learned something new. Maybe you need to go back and reconnect. Remind yourself of what it is you were going to do, what it is you wanted to accomplish, or rev up, right? If you feel like you're that old engine, you're like, run, 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 run. You ain't quite doing what you need to do, and you need to start revving up, superpower that engine. What does that mean for you when it comes to re-energizing yourself, or when it comes to, going full steam ahead? Like, you're like, listen, I'm about to supercharge everything, laser focus, do the damn thing, working on your efforts and your vision. So for me, us checking in today is an opportunity for us to internally and externally, what does that mean? An internal check as far as what's going on with you internally, mentally, emotionally, physically, but then externally, what's happening in your world that may be affecting your ability to reset, reconnect, or rev up your efforts when it comes to working towards your ultimate vision, right? Hopefully today I'm going to talk you through some things that you can do to work on this very thing. But of course, as part of this whole experience, outside of me sharing with you virtually live, you have the opportunity to catch up on this whole thing via the replays, or any given time schedule a session with me, that clarity that you need maybe one-on-one, and we can strategically talk about these things too, especially when it comes to your ongoing month-by-month profit and progress, okay? So our agenda is to basically check in, and then the goal of today's check-in is to work on your 30-day action plan, right? Making sure that you're clear about what you need to do next. When it comes to clarity and progress, one of my favorite Systems acronyms is GROW, G-R-O. Working on GRO, generating revenue online, is going to require you to work on getting better at GRO, your goals, routines, and offers. And we're definitely going to dig into that today when it comes to your business growth goals, right? As part of that, I want you to be able to identify micro projects and challenges that you are personally going to say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this every week, or I'm going to set aside some time this month to challenge myself to do this, or to turn this micro project into a routine. And then, of course, last but not least, this is the space where you can ask questions and get answers when it comes to the things that matter most to you right now, okay? So that's our agenda. That's the objective. I'm sticking to it. Let's do it. Number one, when it comes to your momentum and your 30-day profit and progress action plan, the first thing that I want to talk about with you is money mantras, okay? I believe that we are all in an internal battle of procrastination versus manifestation. Like, real talk. We all, from a very, very young age, have learned how to master procrastination. We are all pretty good at procrastinating and talking ourselves out of things, right? For me, procrastination starts with that little voice in your mind that goes, and we talk ourselves out of things multiple times a day, right? So for me, one of the best ways to counteract being embedded into us this natural inclination to talk ourselves out of things is to create mantras that can help you manifest what you want and to talk yourself into things, right? You know, talk yourself back into doing what you want to do. Does that make sense? Because at the end of the day, like I said, we subconsciously don't even think about how many damn times a day we talk ourselves out of things. In order to maintain momentum, you need to be able to check yourself and reset and say, no, right? You snap out of talking yourself out of it and motivate yourself by talking yourself back into it. Whatever energy you had when you were excited about that thing, we want to keep that energy, right? They say keep that same energy. That's what we want to do. So when it comes to money mantras, I'm going to share a few of mine with you. You can use these or create your own. And of course, think about also sharing your creations or your interpretations of my mantras. Feel free to share them with me personally via email, send me a voice message, or pop a message in our group if you're not a member. Remember, you can always join us over at firestarters.sistasense.com. So let's talk about it. When it comes to manifestation, working on getting what I want, I believe in the power of these statements. Back in my early 20s, I was a college student, and I was in a space where I wanted to become an entrepreneur and do my own thing. This was 20 years ago, right? And I had all these reasons why I couldn't do it. I don't know how to do this stuff. I don't have a business degree. I don't know how to be an entrepreneur. I can't do it on my own. People say that I'm quiet and I'm dotish. I don't know much, right? I'm a wallflower. So, taking other people's misconceptions of me or my ignorance or naivete when it came to entrepreneurship and starting my own business and being young, there were so many reasons why. Nobody's in your family is an entrepreneur. Everybody says, you went to college, you're an Ivy League girl, you need to go get a corporate job so you can make that corporate money. There were so many reasons why I was talking myself out of things. Just do it. The Mikey mantra became my mantra. Like, okay, stop it. Stop with the excuses. Stop with the reasons why you shouldn't do this. Just do it, right? And to this day, it's one of my personal favorites. It's definitely, when Nike did this one, they did a thing. They did a thing. I am a money magnet. I believe in a statement by Napoleon Hill: whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. If you're not getting what you want, trust me, I believe that 80% of the reason why you're not getting what you want is because you don't believe you can. That's going to hit somebody. You don't fundamentally believe it. I believe I'm a money magnet. I know I'm a money magnet. I am certifiably unemployable. I literally was doing a video today, and in the video, I always say, listen, I've been doing this thing for over 2 decades. I started back in 2000s when I was that college girl trying to become an entrepreneur, quit my 9-to-5 job when I was 24 and got pregnant, right? 6 months after Christopher was born, we moved from New York to North Carolina. He just turned 17, and I'm still doing the damn thing. I have been in this world of working at home for a very long time. Through good economies, bad economies, ups and downs, ebbs and flows, I am a money magnet. I genuinely believe that. You have to believe that you have the ability to make money and you can control your own autonomy, your own destiny. If you don't fundamentally believe it, you're not going to achieve it. And I'm not trying to be wow, wow, woo, woo. To me, this is the ultimate truth. This is, again, when it comes to you maintaining your momentum and creating a 30-day plan, think about how many mornings you wake up tired. You wake up tired. You wake up depressed, discouraged. We subconsciously talk ourselves out of things and procrastinate so many times a day. If you don't have things that you can internally check yourself and say to reset that and motivate you to move forward, you're not going to. Now, feel free, by the way, to actually put in here your own personal mantras. If you want to put it in the chat, email me, send me a voice message, put it in our Facebook group. I would love for you guys to share your mantras with me, but like I said, I'm going to kick off this conversation sharing a few with you. I am a money magnet. Tell myself that all the time. It's a part of the foundation of what I teach as far as making money online, learning how to become a money magnet and attract the money that you want. Even when you don't see it, if you fundamentally believe it, it will come into fruition. I've seen that happen to me many times. Today, I will make fill in the blank. This is power right here. A lot of people are wishing and waiting and hoping and praying. You have to be proactive. I'm going to give you a quick story. Literally today, right? My son texted me. He was at school. He texted me. He was like, Mom, Graham got a car. Ah! He put mom with extra M's. Mom, Graham got a car. Like, they're teenagers right now, right? So everybody's getting their permits and getting cars and doing all the things. And I said, Christopher, first of all, be happy for your friend. We all got to, you suck it up. There are things that we want, and sometimes we see other people getting what we want, and we get all up in our feelings. I said, first of all, I need you to be happy for your friends. Number two, I believe that anything that you want, you're going to get in divine right timing, so long as you're willing to work for it. You will get what you deserve. But you have to understand that you get where you put your energy. He ain't say nothing after that. I left it at that. He came in my room a little earlier ago, maybe about an hour or so ago, and then he did that thing where he looked at me and then wanted to walk away. You know what kids do when they want to say something to you, but they scared to say something to you, so then they go, "I'll forget it." I said, "Listen, boy, open your mouth. Closed mouths don't get fed. Open your mouth." And he just couldn't say it. I said, "Christopher, is this about the car?" He said, "Yeah. Well, you know, if I put some money aside, can you and Dad put some money aside?" I said, "Christopher, I will do my best to help you, but you can't just sit there and wish and wait for the car. You can't keep sitting online looking up cars and liking them and texting them to me. Baby, that's not going to get you a car. Today I will make X dollars." When I set that money mantra, not only am I setting it to clearly identify a goal for that day, but then I set it in motion. I say, okay, well, if my goal is to make X dollars today, what am I going to sell today? Who am I going to talk to today? What moves am I going to make today to get that? You don't just wish and wait. You don't just look at people getting their blessings and they're mad because you ain't get yours yet. As a spiritual being, I believe God helps those who help themselves. If you identify how much you want to make, specifically, it's not, "Oh, girl, I wish I was making 5 figures, 6 figures." It's not some arbitrary dream. It's specific. You have to be clear. You have to be specific. Keep posting content. Wake up, say, "LaShonda, keep posting content." "Oh, girl, that thing, I did that thing. It took me 5 hours. I got 2 views." Okay, keep posting content. "Man, I did that training, but 5 people on that training." Okay, keep posting content. Keep posting content. The reality of the situation is that we are in a space where if you want to grow and you don't want to put hundreds or thousands or millions of dollars into ads, the alternative is content. I'm sorry. There's just that. That's it. You pay for ads. You pay for exposure. You pay for access. You pay for customers. Or you pay in the form of content creation, and it's just that simple. Now, at the end of the day, I always like to combine the idea of turning content into cash flow with the understanding that it's not just about our body, but the right bodies, real bodies. So you go, "Oh man, I only got 30 views on that video." But if you were in a room right now with 30 people, what would that feel like? If 30 people watch something that you put together and then 4 people went and bought, you just got 4 real customers, 4 sales, real money. Isn't that what really matters? At the end of the day, I can't, you can't, we can't get so fixated on the numbers that you do nothing, because nothing, doom scrolling, watching everybody else work, is doing absolutely nothing for you. So as opposed to being mad about low views, you should be mad about no views. Because if you can convert with content and you know you don't have the funds or don't want to shell out hundreds, thousands, millions of dollars into paying other people, keep posting content. Now, I could sit here forever and just drop all of these money mantras, statements on you, but these are just a few. You can let me know if any of these resonates with you in the chat, and or if you have some of your own. But the reality is like I said, I'm going to share 4 core things I want you to do today when it comes to working on your personal 30-day profit and progress plan. But the first thing that I want you to do is to set yourself up for success by creating support for yourself sitting in failure. What does that mean? When you feel like a failure, when you feel tired, when you feel discouraged, you need to have you in your corner, talking to you, telling your lower self not to be so discouraged that you talk yourself out of the things that your highest self can accomplish. The only person blocking you is you. There is the higher self inside of you that's going to remind you of your greatness and your potential, so long as you realize that when you get into a headspace where you're going to talk yourself out of something, you've already written down, memorized, and put into heart these messages that are going to keep you keeping on. You understand? Okay. I'm going to check the chat, and then I'm going to move into the next thing that I want to share with you when it comes to creating your 30-day plan. Hey, Faye. Faye is in the virtual building. That's what Jay-Z said at the Grammys. Keep doing the work, and one day. Okay. Okay, Jay. Okay. Good things. Lovely to see you here, my dear. Feel free, y'all, to let me know who is in the virtual building today, number one, and if any of these resonate with you, or if you have your own personal mantra that you consistently remember to remind yourself of. That's number one. Number two, one of the things that I want to do is also create a space for you to check in with you. So that's why we're doing this today, right? But also having things that you can tether yourself into to check in with yourself. I always tell you guys that I'm a Columbia University grad, literally when I got into college, when I sat in my John Jay dorm room, right, that's where they put the freshmen. I don't know if they still do that, but when I was in John Jay my freshman year, sat down with a little spiral notebook, I think it was SpongeBob or Rugrats or whatever, and I wrote out all the courses. I looked in the course catalog, wrote out all the courses I was going to take for 4 years. And I tell you this all the time. When that boy who shall not be named stole my iMac computer and I still had to pay Sears $2,000 for it, I stick to the plan. When I went I think it was when I was in my calculus class and I got my first failing grade. I was like, oh my God, I hate calculus. I stuck to the plan. When I found out my boyfriend was gay, I stuck to the plan. Let me tell you something. Everything that could happen in college will happen. You get bad grades, you lose friends, you lose boyfriend, you lose money, you lose job. You have good days, you have, parties, you go out and party, then you got to do finals the next day. Whatever was happening within those 4 years at Columbia University, baby, I have my degree in computer science because I sat down, I wrote the plan, and I stuck to it. I said, where's that damn SpongeBob notebook? What am I supposed to be doing? I mean, tears in my eyes. What am I supposed to be doing this week? Okay, you need to stick to the damn plan. Because trust me, people at life, they will throw you for a loop, but you need something to tether yourself to. Now, this is a part of the Momentum Master Plan I told you. I don't know if you have my Momentum 12-week workbook. I don't know if you have the workbook. I don't know if you have the printables. But if you need a space to track, whether you print it out or you order the physical version from me, baby, if you need a book, if you need printables, if you need things to write down and track your progress, or even if you just take the digital, upload it to GoodNotes, and then type it out, you need to be able to go back and see what you said. Because life will put us in a space where we feel like we're delusional, we didn't think that, we didn't say that, that's not what we wanted, get you all twisted up in the brain. So what do they say? Write the vision, make it plain, right? If you want to do it in a Google Doc or in your own personal notebook, that is fine. But I do have the Momentum series that I've put together to help support you as you go through this process. Because, baby, I am telling you, there are going to be times when we forget what we said we wanted. And we have to be able to go back and see what we wrote down so that we can actualize the vision. Morning money mantras, number 1, love it list, number 2. There are a few lists here, not all of them, because I'm a list lover, okay? I went back and binge watched one of my favorite shows, Jane the Virgin, and she's known for many things, Miss Jane. One of them is she absolutely loves to make a list. And I said, wow, there's a tribe for us. I know I'm not the only one. I'm sure I've got some ladies in the virtual building who absolutely love to make a good list, okay? If that is you, here are a few that you can consider working on as part of your 30-day action plan. First one is the meaning to list. You go, whoo, girl, first month finish already? Well, I was meaning to fill in the blank. Make a list. Make it now. What were some of the things that you were meaning to do? Oh, my goodness. There were a few things I was meaning to do at the end of the year. And, baby, I said, LaShonda, come hell or high water, you're going to knock these things out, which brings me to number 2, a knockout list. They're similar but different. The knockout list is you saying, I'm going to knock these things out in under 60 minutes. So either it's like maybe a couple of things that you could do really quickly in a couple of minutes, or maybe 1 or 2 things you can do within the hour, but you're going to knock it out. The meaning to list is you just kind of getting right with self and clear about those things that they keep gnawing at you. They're like in your back, it's like keep in the back of your mind coming up. Man, didn't you say you was going to fill in the blank, right? But the knockout list, it could have things on it that you've been meaning to do, but it's mainly things that you can knock out so that you can go, oh my God, woo! You can feel better and you can kind of energize yourself on the fact that you were able to accomplish some things, get some things off of your to-do list and move forward. A checklist. Now, this is multifaceted. I say that because some of these lists you can create for yourself or you can create for your people. You're trying to do something. There's something that you really want to do, okay? What is that thing? And can you come up with a checklist of things you need to do to accomplish that thing? Or you're trying to help people. You want to add value to people's worlds. Can you come up with a useful checklist for your ideal person that you could share with them in the form of a PDF, in the form of a quick video on TikTok or Instagram, in the form of a live stream training, a checklist for them or for you, a wait list. You got something coming up. Now, again, all of these lists may not apply to you, but if there's something here that you want to integrate into your next 30-day action plan, make it happen, ma'am. Okay? So, a wait list. You want to do something and you're dragging your feet on it. Maybe if you create a wait list and say, hey, it's definitively going to start this day, put it out there, people sign up to it, that'll make you accountable to get it done. Or you know that you are super, super, super excited about something that's going to be released, and you want to create a wait list to build excitement with your tribe, right? So as you guys know, I am a web designer, right? So I'm going to give you a little sneaker peeka, okay? So here's one of my newest clients, Dr. Lisa. And literally, okay, I think Dr. Lisa and I started working like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Like she came to me last month, was referred by one of the lovely ladies in my circle. She said, LaShonda, I'm about to launch my book. It's coming out in February. I need a website. And so this is the first page. I shared this with her this week, and she's like, oh, my God, I love it. So I'm excited. She wrote a children's book, and so I'm building out a 5-page website for her, right? And she's going to be releasing her book at the end of this month. So I got some time to knock this out, but I'm probably going to knock it out within the next week or two. Point being, you've got a book. You've got an event. You've got something that is coming up I think one of the ladies in my circle, Cynthia, she wants to launch her podcast, right? And her goal is to launch it in the second quarter. Something that's coming up that you want to create a wait list so you can build buzz around it and say, hey, put yourself on the list so you'll be one of the first to know when ... drops, okay? An idea list. So literally right now, I'm giving you a list of love it lists, a list of lists that can potentially help you or your tribe on some capacity that maybe you want to work on or work within in the next 30 days. Maybe you can create a list of ideas. You do self-care. Here's a list of self-care strategies. You do taxes. Here's a list of tax hacks, right? You know, we're going into tax season, if not already in it, right? A list of ideas based on your expertise that you can send to your people. A supply list. Maybe you yourself need to come up with a supply list because there are things that you know that you want for your business, and you want to be proactive about getting those things in a timely manner. So you're like, okay, I need this, right? There were a couple of supplies that I wanted, and I got this, I wouldn't say this month. I would say within the last 4 to 6 weeks, because I've kind of been knocking it out. And I'm really excited about that, right? These are things that I've been like, oh, I need this, and I need this, and I need this. And putting it on a list for myself and then just kind of working through getting those things has been really helpful. So maybe you want to work on a personal supply list for your business or a supply list for your audience when it comes to one thing that you know you can help them accomplish. And they don't know what to get. So you're like, go get these. Last but not least, a reading list. Reading is fundamental, right? And if you are an information junkie like myself, you've probably read so many things that have been profound and impacted you on some level. You can share your reading list in the form of a PDF, an article, a video. People do tons of TikTok and Instagram videos where they're like, here are my top 5, top 10, top 20 books to read this month, right? You're like, LaShonda, I don't know what to create. There you go. This Love It list can help you create content, can help you get back on track with your goals and your objectives. It can be for you. It can be for them. Do you see anything on this Love It list of lists that you're like, LaShonda, in the next 30 days, hell, tonight, today, okay? I need to work on fill in the blank. A meaning to list, a knockout list, a checkout list, any of these lists, let me know in the chat. Now, I mentioned to you that having something that can help you, let me go over to, this is the Momentum Master Plan. Let me go over to the principles, Momentum Principles real quick. Okay. So there are quite a few principles in here that you can use either physically printed out or digitally, right? If you have like essential tasks that you're trying to accomplish, your P's, priorities, projects, profit, people, your priority list that you can make, your project list, people that you need to work with, contact on some capacity. Where is, I know it's in here. Okay, here we go. The meaning to list. Like being able to identify things that you've been meaning to do, number 1. The knockout list, short micro projects and tasks that you want to accomplish, number 2. So there's the Momentum Workbook, and there are the principles. If you have them, great. Do you need them? You don't need them. At the end of the day, you can do this in a notebook, or you can do this in a Google Doc. Make something that works for you. But if you do want the digital or the printed versions of these, they're available to you, okay? Optional, but they are available, okay? Over at susansense.com/master plan, you can learn more about all of these. But I wanted to make sure that if you did want to work on tracking your progress, or I'm a brain dump kind of a girl, and as digital as I am, I like paper. So if you want things that you can go into write, track, and go back to when you're feeling fuzzy or blurry or distracted and you want to kind of reel yourself back in. That's what these are for. Okay? So let me go back here. Let me check the chat to see if you guys have any questions or comments for me, and then we're going to go into the next one, number 3. So these are just little pieces of activities that you can integrate into creating a 30-day action plan to help you move forward or stay committed to maintaining your momentum when distractions occur. Okay? Hey, Tracy. Tracy says, LOL. Beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. Working on a checklist. Working on a checklist. Okay, good. So quite a few of you are like, listen, LaShonda, I need to work on a checklist. Whether it's one for you personally or professionally, a checklist that you're going to share with your ideal target customers, great, okay? My goal is that, and feel free to screenshot this if you want a list of lists. Identify either a personal or professional list that you're going to work on in the next 30 days that's going to help you with your profit and your progress, okay? Now, before I go on, hey, Adonia, before I go on to the next thing, I want to reset the room because I just see quite a few of you guys coming on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's just reset the room really, really quick, right? The first thing I said to you is that why are we here today? My goal is to take you inside of my Momentum 12-week plan. I want you to be able to do in 12 weeks what most people can't do in 12 months with strategy and intention. How do you work on the 12 months? Well, you break it up. What can you accomplish realistically in the next 30 days? I want this to be an opportunity for us to check in. If you've fallen off, for you to reset, reconnect, and rev up your efforts to work towards your vision, whatever that is, okay? Whatever that is, we want you to reset and reconnect so that you can move forward, okay? So in order to do that, the first thing I said to you is I want you to identify at least one morning money mantra, something that you can tell yourself in the morning, or to be honest with you, any time of the day where you are talking yourself out of things subconsciously. I need you to become hyper aware of the things that cause you to procrastinate. We want to replace procrastination with manifestation. And one way you can manifest more in your life and in your business is to understand the power of words. You talk to yourself more than you talk to anybody else. And it's funny because I've gotten to a point where I talk to myself dangerously too much. No, seriously, dangerously too much, right? So I have now come to terms with the fact that my best friend is Shalonda. Okay, so it's me, LaShonda, and then I talk to my internal self, and I call her Shalonda. Okay, we have the most interesting conversations known to man. Okay, now at the end of the day, I say that to say, whoever your internal self is, you're going to talk to her more than you talk to anybody else, and a lot of times she is going to want to distract or deter you, discourage you from doing the things that you need to do. So you're going to procrastinate. You need to have words, mantras. So when you're self-aware, you go, Shalonda, I need you to go take 2 seats. I need you to go through, take 2 seats and be quiet, because this is what's going to happen right here. This is what's going to happen. We give into our subconscious so many times a day, we don't even realize it. Right? How do I know this is true? Because I'm pretty sure there's like 50 things you said you were going to do that you haven't gotten to, because the subconscious you talked yourself out of those things more times than you want to admit. Right? So I spent probably about the first 10 to 15 minutes sharing some of my favorite money mantras. When I was young and talking myself out of things, I just kept saying, LaShonda, just do it. Just do it. But what about this? But what about that? But I don't that, and I don't know this, and I can't just do it, LaShonda. No excuses. All right, that's how I started getting things done. Regardless of the fact that you're scared, do it anyway. You're young, do it anyway. Everybody telling you not to do it anyway. Just do it, right? When I say, okay, today I'm going to make X dollars. That's not a wish and a pray. That's a, okay, what am I going to do, LaShonda, to make that money today? That's me being proactive and moving forward. I won't go into the whole story about me talking about my son and him wanting a car, but ultimately I said, listen, you get where you put your energy. And when you reset and talk yourself into things, as opposed to talking yourself out of things, that's when things happen. Don't get me wrong, it may not happen that minute, but it will happen and come to fruition when you understand the power of manifestation and speaking life into the things that you want to come to fruition. Now, I shared several of my mantras with you. Feel free to take those to heart. Do of them what you will. Number one. Number two, I said, listen, one of the things you got to do is to sit down and write out some of these lists that are going to either help you or help the people you wish to help. A meaning to list, identify those things you've been meaning to do. A knockout list, things that you can do in under an hour, and stop talking about it, start being about it, and just get it done. Literally, I was waiting for my son for about maybe 15, 20 minutes for the bus to come so I could pick him up. And I was like, okay, well, what are 3 things that I can knock out while I'm sitting in this car waiting for this little boy? Okay, well, you was meaning to pay the water bill. Called, knocked out, done. Okay, but you was trying to get the stuff ordered and shipped. Okay, put it in the cart, pay for it, knocked out, done. Just little things that you could do within a few minutes or so to stop having them nag you in the back of your mind and accomplish and move forward. Some of it's personal, some of it's professional, but as a solopreneur, to be honest with you, a lot of the times the personal things bleed into the professional. What you do in your personal life affects how you show up in your professional life, right? How do you make that happen for yourself? I knocked out about 3 emails. One of my clients was like, oh, LaShonda, I'm trying to schedule a call. I don't know how to do that. Oh, I got you. Go here, click this, activate that, boom. I just showed you Dr. Lisa, the website that I'm working on for her children's book, and she was like, oh, I love it. Okay, now, can you do 1, 2, and 3 things for me? I took about 30, 40 minutes. I did it. I said, all right, it's done. Here are a couple of things I want you to send to me. Knock it out, keep it moving. That's the objective, right? You want to proactively move forward in 30 days. Some things are going to take time. Other things don't take as long as you think they do. You just keep avoiding them, right? Now, do you need to create a checklist, an idea list, a supply list, a reading list? Do you need to create valuable lists for your audience? Let me pause for a second real quick. So like I said, maybe you need to create a personal list for you or a list for your tribe, an idea list. You're trying to get you. Who's trying to build their audience? Who's trying to build their audience? Maybe you want to create a lead magnet, a checklist, or you want to give them something valuable. You want to say, hey, I'm going to do for 1 week, I'm going to do a training a day for 1 week, and it's going to be absolutely free. Get on my wait list so that you can get registered for it. What can you do that's going to help you and or help your tribe? It's a win-win. That's number 2. I wanted to reset the room because I saw some of you guys just coming on in here. Number 4 is the commit challenge. The commit challenge, okay? Now, this is something that we are digging into as part of my Momentum 12-week series, okay? And I want you to understand that you will get out what you put in. Like I said, right now, Mini-Me, he's 17. He don't want to be on the school bus no more. He wants his own car. I'm like, boy, get a job. Like, listen, you can't just simply squirrel up birthday money and keep saving these cars and texting me cars. Your mama is not buying you a car. Okay? Will I help you? Yes. But I'm going to tell you what my mama told me. God helps those who help themselves. Amen? You can't wish and wait. You got to learn how to work. You got to learn how to work. Right? What does that look like? What do you commit yourself to? So listen, where are you putting? I said, Christopher, I'm going to tell him, my mini-me, his initials are CEO. Y'all know already. I said, listen, you already a CEO. I manifested that in your name. Christopher Eden Otley, CEO. You're going to get what you deserve, but you're going to get where you put your energy. If you want to put your energy into playing video games and then looking at me like, Mommy, you're going to get me a car, you're going to get exactly what you want. Nothing. Because video games don't buy cars. You understand what I'm saying? Where are you putting your energy? Ooh, girl, you know I work a 9 to 5. I got 5 kids. I don't got time to be doing all this stuff. Okay, then don't be mad. If you say to me, girl, I am not making any money. Or, girl, I ain't making as much money as I want to. Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you have a product to sell? No. Okay, maybe you do have a product. If you say no, that's one thing. Maybe you do have, yeah, I do have a product. Okay, well, did you tell anybody about it? I launched it. I launched it like and posted something like about 3 weeks ago. Okay, well, that was 3 weeks ago. What you doing every day? Have you done any videos? No. Any interviews? No. Any podcasts? No. Have you paid for ads? No. Have you gone to events? No. Listen, if you go through a list of have you done and you can't barely find one, you have to figure out that a part of the blocking of your blessings is you. And we all have to do it. Me too. Me too. I'm no exception to the rule. We literally oftentimes block our own blessings by denying the fact that there are things that we need to do, but we're not doing them the way we're supposed to. The commit challenge is simple. Periods, pieces. Let's talk about periods first. We're talking about 30-day action plans. So if you commit to something within the 30-day period, that's the start of it. But you can think about 90 days or 100 days, because I do have something called the 100 challenge, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But picking a period of time, and within that period of time, you're going to identify a short list of things that you are going to commit yourself to. Like when I said, LaShonda, last year, I said, LaShonda, every Sunday at 6 a.m. EST, you are going to host a Sunday Circle session. 6 o'clock in the morning, LaShonda? Girl, you used to go to clubs and come home at 5 o'clock in the morning. You used to be going to sleep at 6 o'clock. How are you, the late night owl, because I was a late night owl in my 20s, okay? The clubber, or the late night geeky girl on computers, on AOL till all types of morning, and can't wake up for nobody's business. Well, okay, I ain't 20 no more. I'm in my 40s. I got to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, or just premenopause got me up at 4 a.m. peeing 15 times in the night. Whatever the case may be, I'm now in a position to be up at 6 a.m. EST. Whether I was traveling, whether I was driving from Myrtle Beach on the highway, or we were at the airport going to Jamaica, or I was sitting in my office, every single Sunday for over a year, I jumped on. I remember one time I was so not in a good place that Sunday. I said, LaShonda, I need you to get up. I got up, I got on the call. I did the call for 15 minutes. That was the shortest Sunday Circle I ever did. I said, listen, we're going to knock this out for 15 minutes, y'all. I'm going to tell you these 3 things, and then I'm going to go because I have to go back and curl up in my bed. I am not going to give you the energy of what's going on with me, but I am going to show up. You have to commit to something if you want something to change. Can you identify 1 to 3 things that you say, I'm going to commit to fill in the blank? That's the period conversation. The pieces conversation is, again, do you have the money to put hundreds, thousands, or millions of dollars into paying for ads? If not, then stop making excuses and start making organic content marketing work for you. In order to do that, you have to create more content, period. Don't ask me about nothing else. Don't ask me about what tool, what technique. Damn it, start making more content. Don't piss me off. Sometimes folks want to make this shit, but what CRM platform are you using? Don't stop asking me about CRM platforms. Create content. Use whatever resources you have available to you, right? Oh, Shonda, are you using Trello to manage your idea? No, I'm not using Trello. I'm using a 99-cent Walmart notebook and Google Docs. Stop asking me about complicated shit. If you want to make money and you want to reach customers and you don't have the money to pay for ads or pay somebody else to get you customers, you need to start creating more content. Create your first or your next set of 100 pieces of content. No excuses. No overcomplicating. What does that look like for you? 2 years ago, I said, listen, LaShonda, you ain't been blogging for a while. For 100 days, I want you to create 100 pieces of blog articles, and that's what I did over a 100-day period. Find a micro project that you commit to for yourself. When it comes to pieces, I'm giving you 3 periods: 3, 10, and 100. Why? Okay, let me date myself. Christopher just turned 17. I'm talking about when Christopher was like maybe 3 or 4 years old. I was the mom with a toddler looking like a hot mess. Okay. I was like, ooh, I don't want to get cute in front of the camera. I was like, well, LaShonda, you need to grow YouTube. You need to do YouTube. You need to make some money. You need to reach customers. Nobody knows who the hell you are. All right. I spent 3 days and I did 90-plus videos. Sat in my little apartment, sat in front of Christopher's children's bookshelf, and I did my damn videos. I said, listen, maybe you can't get cute all the time, and your schedule is not so that you feel like you can every single day or every single week do videos, but you can bulk 90 videos. I did it. I taught it. Go look at my blog. Go back to 2016, 13, 15, whatever the hell that was when I wrote that. Hey, let me show you how I did 90 videos in 3 days. There's no reason you can't figure out how to make this thing work. Okay? Number 1. Number 2, I did it in my little apartment, bad lighting, bookshelf. Now, you can go back and watch them YouTube videos. They ain't perfect, but baby, they done. They got me from nobodies to thousands of bodies of people consistently watching me, right? If you want something more professional, well, and you have the funds, there's so many different cities and locations where you could go to an Airbnb, or if you want to be like me, you could book a hotel room, or, find a location in your house. I have a home office now, bless God. Back then, my home office was, again, the little table in front of my son's bookshelf, okay? Use what you have. No excuses. I did 90 videos in 3 days. I want to say maybe the year before last, I did a TikTok and Reels challenge. I said, LaShonda, I need you to get to 1,000 TikTok followers. 10 days straight, I did 10 videos a day for 10 days. Or over a 100-day period, either you do one piece of content every day, or it doesn't matter how you do it. You just know that over that period of time, you're going to do 100 pieces of content. I use what I call my 10-10 win strategy. It ain't broke, so I ain't fixing it. I'm going to keep teaching it. You pick 10 topics. For each of those 10 topics, you come up with 10 subtopics. 10 times 10, that's 100. Or you pick 10 types of content, and then you work on the different types. 10 times 10, that's 100. I always tell you, you can find a way or find an excuse, but you cannot do both. When I did those 90 videos in 3 days, I sat down and I did the same thing I'm telling you now. I came up with several topics. And then I said, okay, for this topic, I'm going to do this video, this video, this video, this video. And I just kept switching out my tops and hitting smile, hit record, make it do what it do. You can upload as is. You can edit it. If you don't know how to edit it, hell, go on Fiverr. Find somebody who will edit your videos for you. I'm like, keep it simple. Record it and upload it for now. Some content is better than no content. So you can get the ball rolling, so you can practice, so you can get a feel of what people gravitate towards you, the kind of content that works best for you. You got to do something. Now, content for me right now, I'm focused on video content, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what you got to focus on. You can write articles, you can do audio podcasts, but you got to do something. You can't keep saying, oh, well, I did like 3 pieces, or, well, I've been meaning to. I can't. What are you going to commit to? That's the key, right? And how are you going to track your progress? Now, if you have some people like the new is Notions. Everybody's like, ooh, girl, you do Notions? I don't do Notions. Okay. I've activated a couple of things on Notions that I've gotten through other people, but me personally, I have nothing set up on Notions, okay? If you have some DIY way to track yourself, wonderful. Other than that, as I mentioned before, utilize the Momentum Planner and the principles. They're optional, but they are available, right? SusanSense.com/master plan. There is the starter principle there that you can download, but if you want the full Momentum Planner and the principle pages, grab them. I'm showing you the principles, and one of them is commit. Okay, so here it is, the commit challenge. This page you can print out, or if you want to order the physical version and have me ship the principles and the workbook to you, I can do that too, right? But I love being able to have something that I can write out. And this is you identifying what you want to do. You set your start date and your end date. To be clear, as I've said here, you do not have to start on the first of the week, the first of the month. You just have to start. So don't go, ooh, girl, what's today? Ooh, it ain't Monday. Let me wait until next week Monday. Let me wait until Sunday. Well, let me wait until next month so I can start. No, start today. And 30 days from now, that's your end date. We will find an excuse, boy, to avoid starting something now. Right? So I believe I have different styles. Yes, there are different styles of the Commit Challenge Tracker as part of the Momentum Planner series. That's the money map. But these are basically pages that I've put together for you to help you work on your progress, getting clear about what you want to accomplish and tracking that progress over time. Now, I'm going to pause because there's one more thing that I want to share with you is when it comes to creating a 30-day action plan. But if you have any questions about what I've shared so far, feel free to drop those into the chat for me. Levon is like, not 2 seats. Yes. Sometimes I have to tell Shalonda to take 2 seats. She'd be saying some stuff that's out of pocket. And I'm like, nope, you're not going to deter me from doing what I need to do. Tough love. Absolutely. Sometimes you need a little tough love. Seriously. Sometimes you need a little tough love. An accountability partner. For real, I get that. That's why I've got the tracker, right? The tracker is supposed to be your DIY accountability partner. Now, of course, I will say this. Some of you do have calls with me. And if you do, schedule a call, check in, so that we can just get up to speed as far as where you are, right? Sometimes you maybe just need to talk out what you're doing or where you are in the process so you can move forward. But having a tracker, being able to just the simple act of saying, I did this today, check, right? That is, to me, accountability. So there are actually several trackers, if I think about it, that I've put in these. Like, for example, this one. This one is a sales tracker. I love this. I love the simplicity of, let's not overcomplicate this. You want to work on sales? This is not just about checking off the day, by the way. These are coins so that you can say, okay, number one, I did proactively work on sales, but number two, here is how many sales did I make today? I did 5 sales, 20 sales, 50 sales, 1 sales, no sales. Okay, today I made $500, $50, $5,000, $1, something that you can look at to track and make yourself accountable to as far as what you want to do, right? So there are different sales trackers in here. Number one, I think I also have the video tracker in here too. Is it in here? It should be in here. Maybe I need to update this one. I don't see the video tracker in the Principles Guide. Those of you who have the Principles Guide, let me know if you have the video tracker in it, because there is a videos. So like you do, say you do 30 days of videos, you have space to track, okay, every day I'm doing videos on ... It exists. I'm not seeing it as this, and I don't know if I just opened an older version of the Principle worksheets or if I didn't add it to this one, because I've got a couple of momentum principles floating out there. So that's a good thing about mentioning accountability, because we do need accountability and we do need support. Number one, you can go in our Facebook group, firestarters.success.com, and you can simply say, hey, look, I'm looking for an accountability partner who wants to work with me. Number one. Number two, I had my North Carolina workshop here in January, and there were 2 ladies. Elizabeth, one of my private clients, she recommended her friend Sherry, and Sherry joined the tribe. Now, Sherry and Elizabeth have been accountability partners for over a year. They connected through another program, but they met each other for the first time at the Firestarter Circle workshop that I did here in North Carolina. So I love creating experiences where you guys can work with me in person or virtually, and being able to also, independent of working with the community, find at least one person that you guys can check in and support each other, whether you're in the same industry or not. That is so key, right? That's so, so, so key. So can you find an accountability in the community, partner in the community? One of my clients, Donia, I work with her and her accountability partner, Yolandi. They live in the UK. So we do, how do I call it? 3 people clarity calls. They have 2 very different businesses, one in education, one in fashion and design. But they are each other's accountability partners. And when we do clarity calls together, we do it as a group of 3 people. They also have private clarity calls where they work with me privately on their own projects, but we also do it as a group together. So working with me via clarity calls, finding a clarity call partner within the community, whether you work with them virtually or in person, or having your own DIY tracker to help you stay accountable, these are things that you can do, right? That might be useful to you when it comes to working on your 30-day goals or your just regular ongoing goals. So let me just wrap up, check in the chat. Anything else you guys want to say, drop into the chat, and then I will move forward into calendars, okay? Okay, so I just purchased the Momentum Planner series. Is there a certain tab or a location that I should look for? Awesome. Let me just real quick, Tracy, see what you signed up for, because there are 3 options. Okay, so option number 1 is to just get the workbook, and then option number 2 is to get everything, which is the master plan. It looks like you got the master plan. With the master plan, there's a PDF. Check your invoice, click the PDF, okay? The PDF is going to look like, let me put it on the screen. It's going to look like this. It's a PDF, the 12-week Momentum Master Plan, and then you're going to scroll the PDF, okay? Then you're going to be able to click the workbook, you're going to be able to click the principles, you're going to be able to click the challenge, and click the mastermind. Each of these things are clickable. And there are other resources that I've shared with you in this PDF guide, but you should be able to go to your invoice in your email inbox, find this, click on it, and access what you need. If you need me to resend the invoice, I will do that as well, or you can try it while you're on the phone with me, see if it works for you, and then any questions that you have, I can support you. But pretty much everything is done and clickable inside of this PDF. Like if, for example, you click on the Momentum Workbook, then it's going to open up the workbook. Like I said, this is the digital. If you did want to order the physical version, just let me know, and then you can get those ordered and sent out to you. Digital, you can either print at home, you can go to your local Office Depot or Staples, or you can upload it to something like GoodNotes. GoodNotes, go to GoodNotes online or download the GoodNotes app. GoodNotes is a really great program or app that can allow you to upload PDFs and then write in them on your tablet or your phone. So those are pretty great for, people use GoodNotes a lot for like digital planners and things. So that might be helpful to you as well. But double check your invoice, Tracy, see if you can download that link and track the PDF that I just put on the screen. And of course, if you have any trouble, okay, do you have the PDF? Like, do you have the PDF with the invoice in it? Let me know if you have the invoice at the very least. And then if you even want to take a screenshot of the invoice and send it to me, because I see your purchase just came in. I just don't know if you've got your invoice and the link inside of it, okay? But you can double check with me now. And then what I'll do is after I drop off this training, if you still haven't found it, I'll make sure to check in with you via email immediately after the mastermind to figure out what's up, okay? But let me know if at the very least you have the invoice in your email, because if you've got that, you should be able to open the invoice and click the link in there to download that PDF. Either way, I'll make sure that you have it within the hour. Adonia's like, what had happened was exactly, right? So if you're in a space where there are things that you've been meaning to do and you haven't quite gotten to them, we want to make sure that you are accountable to yourself, that you have accountability support, whether it be through me or other people or another individual that can support you, okay? Tasha says, I have the video tracker. Okay, awesome. So you've got the video tracker. I want to make sure that it is in the latest principles document, so I may need to just update that as well. But it's not in the PDF that Tasha has it, which is good. I'm not seeing it in this PDF, so I might be looking at an older version. Thanks, Tasha. I found it. Thank you. Okay, good. So you found the email, but did you find the PDF? Because that's the most important thing. You got the PDF, Tracy? I want to make sure you got that. I want to make sure you got the PDF. You got the PDF. Okay, awesome. Yes, that's what I like to hear. Okay. Anything about the PDF or the process you have questions about, Tracy, feel free to check in with me, and I'll make sure to support you as best as I can. Let's go back to the slides. Okay, so let's do it to it. The last one here that I want to talk about and share with you today is calendars. Tasha says it's in the REACH program. Yes, there it are some momentum trackers inside of the Reach project. And as part of Momentum, I'm doing the 12-week Reach series, which is about how to build your audience and to expand your brand, your visibility, all the things. So that's another cool thing that's a part of the Momentum series that we're doing right now. Every Thursday for 12 weeks, we're doing the Reach project. So the video tracker is inside of Reach, and I'm going to make sure that it's also inside of the printables PDF as well. Printables, video tracker, printables, PDF. All right. Thank y'all. Y'all are so awesome. Like I said, I've got so many Momentum printables floating around there sometimes. Sometimes it's hard for me to keep track of all the things, as I'm sure you can imagine. But let's talk about it. The next thing that I want you to think about when it comes to working your 30-day action plan are calendars. And I've marked out several of them for us to discuss. The first one, project calendar, okay? So do you have a project or maybe a few projects that you're trying to accomplish in 30 days? What are those projects? Make a list, like Jeopardy style. Do, 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 do. Did I still have Jeopardy? Is Jeopardy still on? I don't watch regular television. Like, I don't know what's on television. Yes? It's still on? Okay, crazy. Jeopardy style, identify some projects that you want to complete within the next 30 days. And then you want to say, okay, when am I going to prep this project? When am I going to product? Nope. So this is what happens when you type fast. Hold on. Minimize. This is one of the reasons why I love doing my slides in Canva, because I can minimize, edit, and then put back on full screen. So calendar out for a particular project when you want to prep it out, produce it, publish it, and promote it. Just set some dates that you can work on your project, number one. Number two, maybe you have several projects that you want to do. Identify the dates that you want to work on. Create, update, designating time just to focus on some aspect of that project, things that you want to start, continue, or finish, right? Get clear about that. One of the things that I'm doing right now is sell on social. Sell on social, I try to do at least once a year. So this year we are doing something new, which is batch creating content. So I've carved out several days this month where we just batch create content, and we did that on Saturday, and we've got another one of those sessions coming up. Just as a community, sitting down and working on anywhere between 9 to 30 videos for TikTok and Reels, right? So it's a project. It's in my calendar for us to work on within the community, identifying things that you want to do and then strategically putting aside the time to do them. What projects are on your to-do list? Number one, activities. Sister Sense Circle, y'all, this is my tribe. You all are a part of my tribe, right? So making sure that you are up to speed requires me to create activity calendars and let you know what is on the calendar, right? So you all want to create communities, or you want to strengthen the communities that you have. I want you to create proactively calendars. What do you have coming up? Online, offline, live stream, webinar, summit, conference. What do you have coming up? Either you are hosting these things, or hell, sometimes I put things on my calendar that I'm not hosting, but it's an event that I'm going to. So if people in my tribe are going, I'm like, well, let's link up when we get there, right? I'll either do a mini training that night, or we'll go out to dinner or something, right? Let people know where you're going to be, in person or virtually. Your calendars, what's happening this week, what's happening every week, what's happening every month, what's happening every quarter, what's happening over the year, what's happening right now. What kind of activity calendars can you put together? So, for example, let me go over to Chrome. Like I said, this is one of the lovely ladies I'm working with right now, one of my newest clients. Literally, we just started working together like 2 weeks ago. Dr. Lisa, I'm working on the launch of her new website for her children's book. I'm going to go over to sistersense.com/DTC for download the calendar. Okay? So what you're going to see here is literally my new calendar. I replaced the January with the February. So every month, I'll just say, hey, go to sistersense.com/DTC, which stands for download the calendar. You can see what's happening that month. You can see what pretty much is happening every single month, right? I do these things, certain things I do on a weekly basis, right? This is what happens on Tuesdays. This is what happens on Sundays. This is what happens on Wednesdays, right? You can see what happens every quarter. Fire start your year, spring into action, content to cash flow, print your profits. You can see what solutions I have available on an annual or ongoing basis, right? And this is basically, by the way, I do have a template for this calendar, but being in a place where you can, if somebody goes, oh, LaShonda, you always got something going on, I don't know what's happening. Well, get the calendar. And as a spiritual entrepreneur, I always do pop-ups. So I literally created a new page that I'm building out. It's called Pop-Ups, sistersense.com/pop-ups, where I can show you some of the latest pop-ups I do, whether they be live stream or I just do a training and upload it. But pop-ups, that's just when Lord says do it, I do it. But there are also activities that I have scheduled out strategically and create a space to share that with my audience. And like I said, inside of my template hub, I think it was the collection that I posted last year. Those of you who are in the Sister Sense monthly program, you have access to my annual templates. And I shared those calendar templates. You can basically create that PDF that looks very similar to mine, but of course customized to your branding, so that you have something that you can share with your audience on an ongoing basis. Are you supposed to, or do you need to do everything that I'm sharing with you today? Absolutely not. Really, it's about finding those things that make the most sense as far as what your overall goals are for right now. You are mega organized. I love it. In this capacity. There are other aspects of my life where I'm not as organized as I would like to be. But in this capacity, I'm okay. I'm okay. So, activity calendars. What's happening in the next 30 days? Are you doing certain things that are just one-off, one time? Are you doing certain things that are just going to be consistently happening on a week-by-week, month-by-month, or quarterly basis that you can share with your audience? Okay? Now, adjustments can be and should be made as needed. What does that mean? Number one, I committed to over a year doing my Sunday circle every morning at 6 a.m. EST. It worked, but then also it didn't work, meaning that I felt like for some people 6 a.m. was a little bit early. Some people go, ooh, girl, I'm in another time zone, or, oh, goodness, I can't wake up that early, or I got church on Sunday mornings, or whatever. So I've decided this year I'm still going to do my Sunday circle. I'm just going to do it later in the day, once every third Sunday of the month, number one. Number two, last year, baby, I went back to old school me, and I was doing activities that were not happening like once a month, but every single week. I mean, practically every other day. Some weeks, every single day, I had something going on. And I did it. But I got to January and was like, baby, you need to take 2 naps and sit down. Because last year took a lot out of me. I really poured into my tribe. And I want to continue to do that, but I do want to avoid burnout. So I've adjusted some things in my calendar. So, for example, the monthly mastermind, I used to do, way back in the day, I used to do the mastermind once a week. Then I decided that I was going to do it twice a month, every 2 weeks. And I did that for several years. This year, because I have so many things on a week-by-week basis, I've decided that as opposed to doing it every other week, I'm going to do the mastermind once a month. So I always have a challenge, and the challenges will happen on Thursdays. So my challenges will happen weekly on Thursdays. The third Sunday would be the Sunday Circle. The first Tuesday is the mastermind. And then I have like webinar weekend workshops that I do that are usually anywhere between 2 to 3 days. And then I have a few of those every single month, right? So the calendar is pretty full, but I've modified how I do certain things so they work better for me and also for my community. Do you need to work on your activity calendar? Next one is content, okay? I went on a rant. I went on a stop playing with me, create the damn content, no excuses, rant. About 5 minutes ago when I said commit to something, stop making excuses, create the content, correct? All right. Now, some people get into a headspace of creating content and thinking that it can all happen within 24 hours. Sometimes it can. Most times it can't. What you can do is to create content calendars where you're breaking up the process in a way that makes sense. Maybe you want to identify a day where you just prep. So literally, I think about 2 weeks ago, I did a training on how to create a content calendar. And sometimes you just need to sit down and map out the topics, the content. I want to write these articles, or let me do some research and come up with my titles, or let me figure out the types of videos that I want to do, where I'm going to do the videos, what am I going to like, my set is going to look like. Just a prep day, okay? Some days you want to just create a production day. So literally today, I spent, I want to say maybe about 2 hours doing pre-recorded pop-ups on my porch. Like, that's my new series. So I love to create series because they're fun and they give me something like that I can brand and I can stick to. So for example, when I go to the beach, wherever I am, right, I do, and I'm in North Carolina. I'm literally like 3 hours away from South Carolina, so I go to Myrtle Beach all the time. I'll do my Boss on the Beach series where literally I'll be on the beach, and I will record a couple of videos while I'm there, right? And so they always laugh at me because they know I got to eat my seafood. I got to go to a couple of movies, go to the mall, do all the things that we do while we're there. But I'll wake up at the crack of dawn so I don't interrupt, like, our fun time with my business time. And, like, I'll wake up, go out on the beach around 6 and stay out there for about, like, I don't know, 2 hours or so. Literally, by the time everybody else is getting up and ready to eat breakfast or whatever, I'm done. I've knocked out my sessions. I'll go live and do all the things while I'm on the beach, right? So I do quite a few videos on my porch, and I want to do a few mini trainings, which is what I've started to do. And I don't know how they're going to be received, but it's going to be a new series that I'm doing, pop-ups on my porch. And today was a production day. So I spent one day just prepping, just like sitting down and coming up with what exactly I was going to record. And I spent today recording. I didn't do all the videos, but I did do quite a few of them, sitting on the porch and recording the content, right? Then there'll be a day where I'll go on iPad, phone, computer, and edit the content. Then I will publish the content. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes all of that happens in one day. But that's not all the time, right? Sometimes you have to do it in parts and then just be in a space where you're okay with that process. Because otherwise you'll find yourself overwhelmed. You'll find yourself going, damn it, why did it take me 5 hours just to figure out what I wanted to say? Now I don't even want to do a video because I'm tired, right? It's going to sometimes be that way. So break up the process. That is something to think about when you're working on creating a content calendar. Another way to think about the concept of content calendars is what kind of content do you want to put out, and do you want to work on W versus M, week by week or month by month or bi-monthly, right? Week by week, bi-weekly, thinking about that, right? Where, let's say you're like, listen, I want to engage my email list more. Do you need to work on a newsletter? Whether you choose to manually write it or batch it and then schedule it out, or you say, okay, I want to work on reaching people. I want to do a podcast. Some people, they record their podcast manually. Other people say, listen, I'm going to do a podcast. It's going to have 6 episodes. I'm going to record all the episodes and then release it, right? Videos, same thing. Some people batch create videos and upload them. Other people say, hey, I'm going to publish a video on YouTube once a week. Or I'm going to go live on Wednesdays. I'm going to do a late night live. What kind of content do you want to produce? Now, if you say, LaShonda, I want to do everything you just mentioned, you're going to fail. I'm sorry, but it's just a fact. If you're a solopreneur and you have other things going on in your life, and you keep telling yourself you want to do 15 things and you can't realistically, consistently stick to one, you're going to fail, especially if you don't have a team of people who are doing these things for you, okay? Because the Gary V's of the world, okay, the Beyoncés of the world, they have teams. Other people are doing and managing these things for them. I don't know if you've heard me say anything about this one thing when it comes to micro challenges and projects. I'll pick one thing and do that. It may bleed into other things, but it'll be, okay, LaShonda, for 100 days you're going to write blogs, or for 10 days you're going to do TikTok, or only on Sundays you're going to do this call, right? I'll pick something and focus on that, because I can't do all the things as a solopreneur all at once. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I get that you do want to do video and go live and do a podcast and a newsletter and a this and a that and a this. It will snowball if you complete one thing before you move into the other thing. But it can't snowball if you keep telling yourself you want to do all the things and end up doing nothing. You got to pick something and then create a content plan for that one thing. Even if it's just that one thing, and like I said, there are some things that I commit to and say, I'm only going to do this one thing for 90 to 100 days. Or I'm going to focus on doing this thing consistently every week, once a week for 1 year. You don't see progress and you don't see clarity around what works versus what doesn't work if you don't commit to a short list. Last but not least, when it comes to calendars, is a sales calendar. I always say, if you ain't selling this, because you ain't selling. Things are just not going to magically sell for you. Maybe a few. Every now and again, you go, oh, I made a sale. Yay! But in order to proactively sell, you have to proactively sell. Which means those of you who do have products and you're in a space where you do want to make money right now, are you doing weekly sales? Where Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you've got, hey, this is my promotion for the week, right? I always talk about supermarkets because they always have a weekly flyer. That's the easiest way for me to say, are you putting out the same thing or different things on a week-by-week basis? Are you hosting flash sales? Are you like, listen, this thing's about to drop. Pre-order it now. Do you have a seasonal sale that's now? I think what's coming up next? President's Day? A holiday, mainstream holiday, or a branded holiday. Do you have days where you're like, oh, time to drop a sale? Because if, again, you ain't selling, it's because you ain't selling. Launch, yes, right? Everybody knows they should launch things. But outside of launching, sometimes people will say, LaShonda, how do you make money all the time? How are you consistently sustaining your business? I proactively sell. Is that something you're missing? Like, I have a checklist of things that you can do to work on everyday sales. And one of those things, because there's a checklist and then there's the ebook. And the ebook is called Stay Paid. Okay? Just so you know, if you don't have it, that's what it's called, Stay Paid. SusanSmith.com/stay paid. And one of the things that I talk about when it comes to consistently making money is weekly sales. You say, hey, this is what I have available on sale this week. And doing that in, apologies because I am congested. So I'm always congested. So if I sound like Elmer Fudd, it is what it is. But are you in a space where you proactively drop a promotion, whether it be one product or several products, and you're like, hey, this is what's selling right now? So I have a couple of sales. I'm going to give you a couple of examples of this. Right now, it's for this month, I always do Love on Your Business, the 28-day Love on Your Business challenge. Those of you in the Susan Circle, you get Live on Your Business as part of the program. So if you're in the circle, hey, yay, click Love on Your Business, activate it, fall in love. Other people can simply go to the website for Love on Your Business. Do I sell it every month? No, I sell it now because it's a seasonal offer, right? So that's number one. Number two, what else is happening right now? Sell on Social. Sell on Social is a 4-week series that I'm doing right now. I do Sell on Social once a year, whether I do it as a webinar workshop or a series from anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks. I do it once a year. I'm doing Sell on Social right now, right, for 4 weeks. There are times when I'll be like, all right, I'm dropping this thing, 48 hours, here's a flash sale. Am I doing any flash sales? I am. I'm about to, I need to close it. So I was doing half off my Insider Circle 12-month program at susansmith.com/ICP for Insider Circle program. So basically it's normally $10K. I slashed it to $5K for 12 weeks. Not 12 weeks, 12 months, right? And that I need to change it back from 10K to 5K. But that was a limited time promotion, and I need to go to the sales page and switch it out. But that's an example of something that is a limited time flash sale, right? What are you doing this month? You have products or you want to get into a space where you're selling, but you keep, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I look at some clients and I feel like my heart hurts because I'm like, you're overthinking everything and doing nothing. I just need you to identify some core products, sell those products, create content where you teach people your expertise based on those products and make some damn money. That's it. Stop overthinking all this other stuff. Stop, right? So when it comes to your 30-day profit and progress plan, making profit and seeing progress, these are for me the core 4. Of course, there's a lot that I can teach you. I'm consistently trying to teach and support you as part of this series. But if there's anything else that you need, check in. 1 second. Sorry, I had to quick power pause. So anyway, the core 4 things that I wanted to share with you today. Let's backtrack. Ask last call for questions, comments. Like I said, this series for Momentum, it's a part of the 12-week program, and I want to be able to check in with you guys every 30 days as part of this 12-week experience to see where you are. If you do need to get back on track, if you need to get excited about, moving forward or reconnect to your goals, that's what this is all about. Today, my goal was to encourage you to give yourself a way to avoid talking yourself out of things when you feel like you're discouraged, you're depressed, you're procrastinating. You need some mantras to help you move forward, number 1. Number 2, some lists that you can use to clearly help you figure out what you need to do for yourself, or lists that you can give to your audience to add value, number 2. Number 3, keep things simple. KISS, KISS, keep it seriously simple. Identify 1, 2, 3 things that you say you can commit to over a period of time, or pieces of content that you can say, hey, I want to work on 100 articles, 100 audios for a podcast, 100 videos for YouTube. Not all the things, but something. Because again, if you're trying to do everything and you keep overthinking to the point where you do nothing, we're not moving forward, right? And that's where my heart hurts. I'm like, I just, my heart hurts when I see people overthinking and underperforming. So the commit challenge is about really simplifying, stripping down to, can you just say you're going to do this one thing for 30 days, 90 days, 100 days? Or you say, okay, listen, girl, I got to get used to it. Let me just try 3 days, 10 days. Baby step it, but something to commit yourself to moving forward. And then calendars, personal, professional calendars that you can use to keep you on track or to keep your audience aware of the things that you've got going on and want to put out there. Okay? Any final questions or comments, feel free to let me know. Like I said, these are the core 4 for today. Hopefully, this gives you a sense of what you can do. Like I said, you do not necessarily need it, but if you want it, I do have the Momentum series available for you. Go over to sistersense.com/master plan. You can see that I do have some complimentary starter guides and trainings, number 1. But if you do want to follow Tracy's lead and either get the Momentum Planner or get the Master Plan that has the planner, the printables, the challenges, the Mastermind, everything else in there, you can learn more about all of those things over at sistersense.com/master plan. So as I am about to get ready to wrap up for today, let me check the chat, number 1, and then I'll share one more thing with you, number 2. Tasha was like, ooh, girl, you're right. It was early for me. Yeah, for some people, the 6 a.m. was just not, it was not working. It was not, right? And as they say, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. I would see when the Spirit would take people, sometimes they were like, "Ooh, girl, I got up at 6 a.m. Yay!" Some people, they enjoyed the replays, which was fine. I had my tried and true G's, Afi, Levon. I had Katoya. There were just some ladies who they were just like, listen, I will see you at 6 a.m. I will be there. But it was a mix. So, again, there are things that you say you're going to do it, but if you're the boss, sometimes you have to realize that you are in a position to change things. You don't always have to force yourself to do things a certain way just because that's the way you've always done it, right? Learn to pivot, adjust, improve. So, me, tears. I don't know what that's about. Tears. You felt something. You felt it in your spirit. What is the new time for the Sunday Sister Sin Circle? It is every third. The Sunday Circle is every third Sunday at 10 a.m. And so when you go to sistersense.com/DTC, which is download the calendar, you'll see the exact date for this month, but it's every third Sunday. The Mastermind is the first Tuesday. The Sunday Circle is every third Sunday. And then just download the calendar so you can see the specific dates so you're not confused. I can do that. Good. Making it manageable is what I want to do. And also I want to be attentive to where I need to pivot. Like, I work for myself all day, every day, 24/7. And so for me, it's easy to create a space where I could go live, I could do videos, I could show up for you guys every single day. Burnout aside, that's just something that I can do because I am in a position to do that. Some of you are not. Some of you have toddlers. You are taking care of your, family members, your parents. You've got a 9-to-5 job. You kind of have to figure out what makes the most sense for you as far as your schedule is concerned. And then on top of that, you also have to figure out when you're creating something for a community, what makes the most sense for your community, right? So I have to laugh. I don't know if Adonia is still here, but we had a clarity call, and she was like, girl, it should be a crime to create as much content as you do. I can't keep up. You always got something going on. So I try to consciously, number one, remind you all that you don't necessarily have to participate. And I realize it. Some people go, girl, I feel like I have to participate because FOMO, right? You fear of missing out. You feel like you got to be a part of everything. But you don't necessarily have to. What matters most to me is that you get clear about what you are trying to accomplish this month, and then you can only, or you should only check into what I'm doing if it's in alignment with what you're doing. Because otherwise, you're going to feel like, oh, let me try this. Oh, let me try that. Oh, let me try this. And you're following, what do they say? When you stand for nothing, you fall for everything. You ever heard that before? When you stand for nothing, you fall for everything. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that's a bad thing. The reality is this. When I'm telling you, you don't have to do everything that I'm doing, and you go, oh, but I do, it's because you aren't tethered. You don't foundationally know what you stand for. You don't foundationally know what you should be doing right now. Because, see, if I am very clear on what my objectives are, and 15 people are looking at me going, ooh, LaShonda, do this. Ooh, LaShonda, do that. Ooh, LaShonda, do this. Like, think your social media feed. Think your email inbox. Think your YouTube videos. Everybody is pulling at you, telling you what to do. You can say yes or no when you are confident in what you know you're trying to accomplish. But see, when you're feeling lost, when you're feeling all over the place, where you don't know where to start, or you don't have the confidence to say you're going to commit to the things that you prioritize, you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. So building up your ability to make decisions about what you're going to do, what you're going to invest your time into, and then only aligning yourself with, whether it be me or anybody else, those activities that make the most sense for where you are right now. That's my objective for you, okay? So knowing that, I'm also trying to minimize the amount of things that I do on a week-by-week basis so as not to overwhelm either, and or minimizing that to some degree, because I was on steroids. I'm not even going to lie. Last year I did like every week. Some weeks like back-to-back every day I had something going on, right? So I've kind of slowed down on that a little bit to make it a little bit more digestible for my audience. And then at the same time, there are some things that I'm doing that those sessions I've locked in like 30 minutes. And I'm so excited about that because sometimes I can listen. So I could be on here with you for like 3 hours, like easy. Great if you're participating live, but then you go back and you look at these videos and you're like, oh my God, LaShonda, that video says 3 hours, that video says 2 hours. When am I going to get through this whole thing? You can watch it in pieces, granted, but if on my end I try to create certain videos or experiences that are 30 minutes or less that also can make it more digestible for those who are not on the live, but they're catching it on the replay side. So again, I've been doing this long enough to understand that there are times that you have to pivot, adjust, be mindful of what you're creating. Does it work for them? Does it work for you? All the things. But again, what matters most to me is that this session here gives you an opportunity to get clear about what you want to do in the next 30 days, okay? So thank you so much for joining me today. As always, those of you who are in the Citizen Circle in our Digital Boss Academy, you'll be able to see an archive of every single month so that you can track what we talked about this month and catch the replays for the Sunday Circle, the Masterminds, the challenges, the profit projects, all the things. Hopefully you're in the Sunday Circle, number one. Number two, those of you who are part of the Momentum 12-week series, you have access to the 12-week Mastermind, the challenge. You have access to the workbook and the principles. If you don't have Momentum, you can certainly go over to citizensense.com/master plan to download the complimentary guide or get access to the 12-week series that we're doing right now. If you're like, man, I'm just getting on in here, I missed it, you can watch the replays either as part of the Citizen Circle or as part of the Momentum series. Any questions about these, feel free to ask. You can always email me, send me a voice message, or post in our Facebook group over at firestarters.sistasense.com. And again, friendly reminder, I am working on the new pop-ups series over at sistasense.com/pop-ups, giving you an opportunity to learn from me at your pace and at your time. If you would like to see certain pop-ups, feel free to email me your suggestions. I welcome them. And, of course, feel free to come back on here real soon for another dose of Sister Sense Direction. Till next time, take care. Bye.